And so we're here to talk about the girl-child education and trying to mainstream this very conversation within the mainstream issues of access, etc. And sometimes we've been advocating that a lot more children who are girls get access to a lot more education.
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying more than enough. But the thing is, do we have the commitment from the right governmental agencies and civil society that need to champion this very cause? And that's why we had Hannah Odami. She went to an event, but also decided to package this very story for us to be able to premise our next discussion on. And we hope that you will enjoy it.
2012, the Girl Child has been celebrated annually on October 11 to emphasize better opportunities and increase awareness of gender inequality faced by girls worldwide. According to the UN, however, one issue that is standing in the way of the girls' progress is child marriage. Dr. Van Otu believes this occurs because girls have not been groomed on their reproductive health.
Unfortunately for us, we have within our statistics girls who are less than 15 years of age who become pregnant. I believe that sometimes these girls don't really understand what the body goes through when they are growing up. So as a health worker, I am responsible with all the other health workers to ensure that we educate parents, first of all, to understand issues concerning growing up, and also to educate the young people, both boys and girls, but especially the girls, about the changes that they go through, about how they will feel during that time, and what they can do with what they feel. You know, at that stage, a young girl feels like being touched by a boy. It is part of growing up. And we have to understand that it doesn't mean go and have sex with a boy or a man. If we do that, they will understand that it is part of growing up and they need to know how to manage it. And that is our responsibility as healthcare providers. And that is why we have adolescent health program.
Dr. Van Otu acknowledges that health facilities in the country are not friendly to accommodate the queries of such girls.
But you talk about all these educations and systems that have been put in place, yet still we continue to see some of these girls drop out because of teenage pregnancy.
Yes.
Some of them do things that take them out of school.
Right.
Does it mean that education and campaign is not getting to them?
We need to do more. And that is why we need civil society as well. As Ghana Health Service, we provide service. And I believe that access needs to improve. I believe that the language we use must improve. We should be able to talk about these things in the local dialects. It could be Ga, it could be Fanti, it could be Chi, any language. So we need to improve. And that is why I believe that in talking to the young people, we'll find out some of the things that we are not addressing and address them. Our facilities are said to be adolescent health friendly or youth friendly, but when you go there, you find that it may not be so accessible. So we need to improve upon some of these things, and that is why we need to talk to the young people to know why some of them are becoming pregnant or some of them are dropping out of school or even using drugs.
The executive director of the NGO, Hope for Future Generations, Cecilia Senyo, said her NGO is putting special focus on girls with disabilities.
The specific objective of the proposed interventions are to provide mentoring opportunities that empower young persons with disability and promote interaction and linkages between young persons with disability and other young people nationwide. To strengthen advocacy on the human rights of persons with disability as prescribed in the Ghana Disability Act. To provide integrated sexual and reproductive health services, including contraception and HIV/STI prevention, that are gender responsive to the persons with disability population. To provide alternative livelihood skills set to improve economic status of persons with disability population. and establish referral points for legal literacy and for addressing human rights abuses.
What I know about today is that today we've learned about the girl child.
Do you think we have to put focus on the girl child as we do every year?
Yes.
Why?
Because when we are focused on the girl child, we become somebody else in future.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
And Hannah Odame putting together that very report. And we know that we want to situate this very report or premise it on the discussion we're about to have on the subject of girl child education and the rights they need to have to make sure that as the International Day of the Girl Child was marked, we're able to create the needed conversation on the various platforms that really will kind of create a transition for the right atmosphere and the commitment to be made for improving the states of the average girl child in our country.
Yeah, and we've done there are a lot of campaigns in the past for education, but now we're talking about total girl child development. We've got Irene Jato, who's Programs Manager, Hope for Future Generations, joining us via phone. Hello, good morning to you. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
So we hope that you're well this morning.
Yes, I am.
Okay, we thank God. The fact is, at what point should we stop talking about the girl child? Because it looks like we've been talking girl child, girl child, girl child. What's the problem again?
We can't stop talking about the girl child until we get to a stage where girls are given equal opportunities. We still have issues where, in some parts of our country, young girls as tender as 14, even less than that, are married off. But we don't find that with boys. So the talking will continue until we get this thing out of our whole continent, where young girls have a right to stay in school and finish school, where young girls have the right to choose when they want to marry, when young girls have the right to choose the career path they want to, but are not influenced. So this discussion will never stop until the world gets to that level. And you realize from the theme of yesterday's celebration, it was progress. Girls' progress equals to girls' progress. So it means that when you see that the girl child is advancing, that is when societies advance. That is when countries advance. That's when continents advance. And we haven't seen that yet. We haven't gotten to a stage where we say that the opportunities that are given to men are given to women. So this discussion will still continue.
I appreciate that. But are we using the right strategies?
Oh, I think that we are, because we have come far, we have made some progress. It's being used to be like as it is now. But in most times, it is being highlighted. And you agree with me that the Sustainable Development Goals is making progress with it, where Goal 5 is talking about gender equality. So the girl has equal rights to her sexuality, has equal rights to education, has equal rights to resources.
Okay,
so we want to use, and the whole thing is translating these things into very meaningful, bit manageable understanding, where the woman far in the north or far in central region in the village somewhere understands it the same as a woman in Accra, where the literate understands it the same as the illiterate. You understand me?
I get you, but are we giving ourselves any targets? At what point do we expect to get to this point where you describe?
Now, Ghana has signed on to the SDGs, which is Agenda 2030. And by 2030, which is more of a progressive plan, we're going to work with a progressive medium to long-term plan, should have been attaining gender equality. And this time around, it's not the UN that is given to countries to go by it. It's something that we all made inputs into as countries, and we are going to be measured by it. It should be nationally owned, and that is why civil society organizations are there. That is why the media is there. It's always to remind people what we signed on to.
But do you honestly believe that we would be equal someday? Because men and women are definitely not equal.
I'm sure most people get it wrong when we talk about the equality. It's not to say that a man changing to become a woman or a woman changing to become a man. It's about giving the same opportunities you would give a boy. Why don't you give that same opportunities to a woman? So give the opportunities to women and let them make the choices. Often than not, it is a girl child's decisions are influenced by people around. When a girl is going to school, you see society, instead of staying back home, getting a family, you are just pursuing career. You get it? But there's no point they will say that a boy should just stay home and marry and stop pursuing career. We want the talk to get to a stage where a girl can make her own choice. We realize that maybe some girls during 5 days of every month they fall out of school. The reason being that they have to manage their menstrual issues. Why should a girl stay out of school? Because she doesn't have common sanitary pad to manage herself for 5 days. So out of 5 days, she'll be out of school. So we are getting to a point where we say that give the girl the opportunity. Give her the things that will enable her stay in classroom. Okay. So the whole talk is not about a man becoming a woman or a woman becoming a man, but it's more of the opportunities. If you are giving your boy child the opportunity, wanting to see her to a level where you as a parent or as a citizen of a country, you'll be excited, you should give that same opportunity to the girl child.
But if there are people who are also given these same opportunities, but you find that some of the girls go out there and they get themselves pregnant. There was this report about girls between the ages of 15 and I think 19 getting themselves pregnant or given birth these days. So if a parent sits back, gives the same opportunity he would give to his boy to the girl, and the girl goes to school and gets herself pregnant, that's not like a good example for other people to copy.
Well, whilst you are advocating for their rights, you also have to make sure that you make available the skills and information that strengthens them to make informed decisions. So you just don't advocate. You also advocate for their sexual and reproductive health and rights so that they know the pros and cons of their actions or inactions. Sometimes some girls are not able to even negotiate for safe sex because they don't know even the information bordering around safe sex. What some people, to be frank, are very naive. And what we do at a community level and at all levels is to bring to their doorstep their sexual reproductive health and rights, making them aware that they can abstain, but in the instance where they are sexually active, they should sign on to family planning or they should sign on to the use of condoms, which will give them dual protection. So protecting them from STIs and HIV and unplanned pregnancies. So you are educating, you are advocating for them, and also equipping them with the right information and right tools to make informed decisions.
All right.
You can't say that because you sponsored your boy child to school and he found himself among some group, you are going to ignore the person. We are different. Some people get pregnant and by career education, they get back to school. And some of them do better than even people who have stayed through. So give them the opportunity. Pregnancy doesn't mean the end of life.
All All right, Madam Irene Jatto, we'll have to leave our conversation here, but we thank you so much for your time this morning. She's Programs Manager, Hope for Future Generations. We've been talking a lot about the girl stuff between yesterday and today because of the day for the girl child. We know that we're not the same as the men, but we're fighting for equal opportunities now. But in the face of it, I think the last question that I put up, where was it 2 days ago or yesterday, where there was a report in the Finder about girls between 15, is it 13 to 15 or something of the sort, very young girls.
Still getting pregnant, 12 to 15.
Delivering now, like they're childbearing, and it's really high. And I think that if we don't check those things, we'll be discouraging people who would want to give the same opportunities to their children. Because it's like, okay, you now, as you are going, some guy will make you pregnant anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
and those are some of the things that we need to do, because despite all the utterances and the various pacts that we've signed to make sure we promote all that, our institutions in the society and also at the governmental level need to show that level of commitment that they want to complement the efforts of the structures traditionally or in the communities to make sure that we empower a lot more young girls. Now we seem to be doing well as far as trying to educate a lot more children who are girls in urban and peri-urban areas, but how widespread is that? If you move outside the main peri-urban and urban areas, what really is the case?
Yeah.
And those are some of the parameters by which if we improve, we can create that level of congenial atmosphere for the young girl child to have access to the right education, have the right have access to the right sort of amenities and every welfare opportunities that are available for them.
And I think that whilst we have a lot of CSOs doing some advocacy on that level to get, for instance, Ghana sign on to some of the pacts, parents should also remember to continue to teach the children, you know, the girl child, the things that they must know. You don't, because we've said every girl child must go to school, you're putting your girl child to school, but how much have you empowered that girl child with regards to the things that will come her way, for her to be able to say no or yes or stay away or this is the decision that I'm making. Like, I'm not just going to school because they said I should go to school, but I'm going to school because of what I want to become someday. Definitely. And I know that getting pregnant now is not part of it. You know, there needs to be a lot of empowerment along the way, even from parents. And I feel that the home has a lot more responsibility in that regard, because it will fall on areas of morality and things like that. You know,
we hope that we can get to that level, and then we all will be happy for it. I've worked with and also under some fantastic women, but it is because they were empowered to be where they are today. And as a society, we seem to always predispose ourselves to be very patriarchal, and as a result of that, we feel that the man should always be ruling or should be at the helm of affairs. But we should create the atmosphere that will enable both sexes complement each other. And men should never be afraid of whatever inroads that women are making at all.
There's a study which we're gonna have time and deal with. It's not completely out yet. That, you know, even with the elections, women don't like to vote for women. Women don't see women as leaders, so they don't even want them in leadership positions. It will be an interesting revelation
to see how we can delve into that.
Yeah, also. Exactly. It will be good. But we appreciate most of you commenting on our WhatsApp page 0560-800,000. Here is Stoneboy in Bongo inviting the two of us to Azambene Fire Festival taking place today. Oh, but Charlie, the invitation is just coming today. How do we go to Bongo today? But enjoy the festival and send us some pictures. This one says, how many parliamentary candidates have also been disqualified by EC? Sule from Tamale is asking. This one says, let's support our leaders to apply all our laws to the latter in all institutions, and Ghana will be a small haven. Other heads of institutions should learn from the EC boss, Ahmed Isahaku in Wai. A lot of people viewing the Charlotte Osei's actions as a show of good leadership. This one says, EC, wonderful work for doing the right things. No shaking. It's from Aloysius DB in Upper West. What would have been the stand of EC if the disqualified parties were to be either of the two major political parties? This one says, Roland, I like your faith. They should spare us with false prophecies. Abdul Aziz, what is, I think, something you said way earlier when the
about
show
a prophecy that the election would not be convened this year.
Yeah.
It's false.
Okay, cool.
It can't happen.
EC should not refund the money because a student who went for an interview with fake documents loses his interview fee. Again, the law stipulates that they should secure 25% before. Why refund? Godfrey in Natebubu asking. This one says PPP and NDP are jokers. They are seeking to be president and cannot use that 5 minutes to complete their forms properly. I wonder why we have to listen to them. Let's discuss serious things. That's from Justine from Jirapa. This one says, good morning. Ghanaians are suffering from massive corruption. Why should we suffer in our own motherland? Everywhere you go, they are crying, we're tired. Here's our friend Akoto Razak in Tamale says, flag bearers who are threatening EC chair over their disqualification should have understood the procedure and not okay, cool. I guess that makes sense. All right, this one says, seriously, I just love MPP's manifesto for one reason, and that is we need to aim higher. I wouldn't have offered science in SHS if not for my brother who thought I could do it. So for me, aiming high will compel politicians and governments not to eat into public office. Anyway, I'm the happiest guy for the EC's disqualifying Nikia Donko and Hassan Ayariga. Governing Ghana should be taken serious. That's from Bomfe Yao in the Central Region, sending us the WhatsApp message. Okay, some big enoughs coming through. Emmanuel Wuvi Nara Rural Bank in Paga. My message this morning: let's all preach peace before, during, and after this year's general elections. God bless Ghana. God bless Navarongo Central Constituency. All right, thanks for the message. More messages here. People going to areas that we haven't even gone to, but they are taking us there. This one says the EC should have published names of all voters who doubled registered, prosecuted them instead of keeping them to its chest until such errant Ghanaians are punished and named removed from the voter register. Mistakes such as the one of the NDP will crop up. The onus, therefore, is on the EC to tell us how to identify all double registered voters. That's from Nana Kwesi, who's watching the show in Techimang. All right, let me take this one. I guess, this has to do with sports, and we've got to apologize that we didn't bring sports this morning because we're getting some feedback on our WhatsApp platform. This one says, I guess the pitch in South Africa wasn't good, as well as unfavorable weather. That's why Black Stars drew sham. We always have an excuse. Only Ghana.
Only Ghana.
Like Uganda didn't come to Ghana to play.
As if they didn't play on the same pitch.
Okay. Did you even watch?
I didn't.
Do you watch the Ghana games?
Yes, I used to.
You used to?
Until after the World Cup. No, after the African Cup, they didn't win the cup against Cote d'Ivoire. So I relaxed my mind.
No, but you shouldn't. I mean, I think you should still...
No, I'm not saying I'm not patriotic or I'm not interested in that. I am. But it's just...
But me, the one who's preaching.
I'm very passionate about football. So when I'm watching it, my everything goes into it. I don't want my dinner to be spoiled, you know.
I watch the scoreline, like when they are done, then
that's better.
The scoreline.
That's better. Besides how much they get paid, I don't even get paid.
Yeah, but if you think about that, then you won't support any team.
No, if I support Chelsea and Chelsea will win, let's say 2/3 of their games, I'll feel happy for 2/3 of the time.
Yeah, but their players get wicked money.
No.
Do you make any out of that?
I don't make a penny.
They don't even know you exist, Roland Walker.
I don't mind, but not the Black Stars. The Black Stars.
Okay, so let's read this message from Fusaini from Tolon, who says disqualifying some candidates by the EC is appropriate, but my problem with the EC in this matter is that NDP shouldn't have been disqualified because one of their subscribers did double registration. How could they know that? The said subscriber registered twice on the voters register. I appeal to EC to reconsider their decision on NDP and PPP. Okay, Abdul Bassett's Zongo Pioneer in Kumasi says, okay, I think there's a certain agenda. I don't know, but I don't want to go there. Okay, just to say good morning to Jihad Dapela. All right, says the deprived and rural communities are neglected. That's what you see, Jihad Dapela sending us that message. It's a good time to take a break. You're watching the AM show. We've got some 3 more minutes to 8. We'll bring you AM Talk pretty shortly here on our show.